So they'll be calling you a radical, the epic drought in earnest, and the denial, the American pastime. So 20 years from Dick Cheney to Liz Cheney, the country's been turned into a third world hellhole, shithole from hell, from Cheney to Cheney. So let's talk about this. Operation Foxconn News. I was standing right over here. So I was a student professor in '99. We just got our new MBA program. Dr. Cooley had just tragically passed away, a mad cow. Brand new MBA program. I came home from Wall Street to get the first MBA. I was Dr. Cooley's protege. I have the last letter of recommendation. It's in the Stewart Library. I was a derivative arbitrage specialist. So I wanted that first MBA from here. So I was interviewed. The school used to have a television program. I was interviewed and they said, well, Bush is up by just a couple points. I says, he's not going to win. People vote on their wallet. You know, Carville, it's the economy. And I says, he won't win. Gore will win, because all people care about is money. That's all they give a shit. And things are too good. The downsizing of the military. We have a surplus. Things are going too well. So Fox News, which is run right out of the House of Windsor, which I've screamed from the day they rolled in that it should be illegal and they should take them out of the equation. And so the House of Windsor, how did they do it? One by Jetstream, two by cable TV. So here, I was involved in this university. I graduated this university. They promised me the first MBA, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Cooley, the #1 finance professor in the United States, the #1 school of business in the United States, be able to test me, bar none. So, the house to the nuclear industry. This is floor construction. This is GE. This is Waters. This is Chalk River. Dana's up there, by the way. He's got some great footage of the dead wells this morning. Fantastic work. So this is the university that nuclear cartel, nuclear industry, Utah construction for a bill. I'm going off on the nuclear industry for everything. I remember Dr. Cooley talking, you keep hammering at the nuclear industry, they will blackball you here. I says, fuck them. They ain't blackballing me, they can't. And so, by the way, I'm the first one that put the mask on all the statues of the Wildcats around here, and this one. I did it first. And the maintenance are teabaggers. They tore them off. Stole them from me, by the way. So, I asked Romney right in there. I talked to Romney toe-to-toe about Fukushima. I talked to Huntsman right there. Mike Lee, Governor Herbert, all on this university. But anyway, this recently. So, we do the PPI and the CPI here. People don't realize this is the #1 school for the state of Utah. People don't realize how you do that. That's inflation. So, we do it here. So, for the state, I did it. So, it's a basket of goods, is how it's done. Housing is the biggest component. It's a weighted matrix. It's housing, #1, your automobile. So, let's go back. So, Dr. Cooley's famous line, figures don't lie, liars figure. Oh, did they start lying? Bush. Cheney. That's when this fucking insanity started. They stole the election in 2000. It's unarguable. I remember I felt like I got shot. I remember right here saying, holy fuck. This was like when they come up with NAFTA. You know, and so the components of inflation, the biggest component is housing. Second biggest is transportation. I want you to go back 2000, what a fucking new car cost. It's up 400%. Brand new truck in 2000, Chevy freaking loaded to the gills with everything. It was less than 20,000. They cost almost 100,000 now. Food, they took the packages and just cut the freaking sizes in half and cut the price. That's 100 inflation. How about housing? You know what rent was? Oh man, Trump, up 350%. So they'll tell you there's no hyperinflation. So we've got really out of control debt. We turned it into a police state, a military coup state. The overthrow of the United States government happened in 2000. by the Cheneys, by Dick Cheney and the Bush cartel. But that's by any stretch of the imagination that he did not win. Remember, I sat right there on the bench on March 11th, and I slid across this bench, and I used those great pop-ups, and I did every single president. And I went left, right, left, and I went all the way over and had those great pop-ups, and then I got to Obama, and I went over the edge. Talk about freaking who knew Trump is. By the way, Google took that down. It was their own software illegally. Another hallmark of a third world country, state-run media. So, what are the hallmarks of a third world country? Really out of control psychotic debt. We had a surplus in 2000. Downsizing the military, turning into a military fucking police state. Happened. State-run media. Right? Hyperinflation. Corrupt elections. Attempted coups. Don't drink the fucking water. By any stretch of the imagination, anywhere in the fucking other place in the world that any of this was going on, this would be considered a fucking banana republic. Well, what an insult to a banana. So, we used to do the PPI there. And then Liz Cheney makes that statement, which, by the way, is word for word perfect. Perfect. It is the statement of the freaking past 20 years. Everything she said on the floor is word for word. Right over that hill is Wyoming. I think about it, before I got cancer, leukemia, I dated one of their family. I mean, Tanya. God, that girl was so freaking wild hot. Oh, what a relationship that was. But me and her would fight. I remember when Glenn Beck was on CNN, I'm like, he's a fucking astroturf psychotic fucking plant. You know, but so Roger Ailes overthrew the government with Fox News. Remember Fox News come in, I'm like, this is insanity. And you get rid of these guys. These are run out of the House of Windsor. These are British invaders. One by Jetstream, two by cable TV. So let's review. They go from #1 school business in the country to dead fucking last. They're Chinese oligarchy. I like Trump. Oh, he's good against the Chinese. Oh, really? Then how come once you start wearing them Trump girl shoes? How about his wife and daughter shoes factory? Remember the activists? I used to protest with those same activists in New York, in the cage. They're protesting with the Trump girl shoes. Detained, arrested. By who? Trump! So he's a phony. He's a liar, you know? Well, he's just the thumbprint of America. Con man. But ain't they all? So, let's review. You know, Mark Hoffman, Abby, not Hoffman, Edward, Obama K. Brody, Bernard DeVoto, D.B. Cooper's office was right there. Wolfgang Gossett, he used to be in there. Stewart Library, Kevin Blanch. Let's review. What are the hallmarks of a third world country? State-run media. Look what they've done to YouTube. Under the Trump regime, killed net neutrality. State-run media, it's unarguable. Fukushima's classified. Corrupt elections. 3 of the last 4 elections have been rigged as fuck. Not this one. This is fucking clean when you're going to protest this one. 2000. Attempted coups. Okay. You know, check them off. Don't drink the fucking water. Fucking environmental toxic as hell. How about people lined up in their fucking overpriced fucking 400% fucking cars, their car payment that cost 20, used to cost 15,000, now cost fucking 50 or 60 or 70,000. They're sitting in their brand new car idling, poisoning the toxic thing, waiting for fucking the food pantry. You don't think that's a third world country? You're a stupid motherfucker. Don't drink the water. Fukushima, Fukushima, Fukushima. That is a lie. Thank you, Dana. That's great footage. I'll get some. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the historic work. From Cheney to Cheney. You cannot make this shit up. Reeling, out of control debt, hyper fucking psychotic inflation, fucking attempted coups, poisoned atmosphere, fascist government. Well, what an insult to a fascist. You got a small handful of people, CIA rats like Bezos, Gates, that run the fucking, that are, just think the fact that being a billionaire is legal. How about fucking the thumbprint of the NBA, Damian Lillard, on this campus, who I know, fuck, he disgusts me. Fucking where he got his roots. Billionaire basketball players, think about that one. Billionaire baseball, but think about when 1975 the average working class in America made less than 3 times. I mean, just the fact that we have, and they call it New World, or when it's Old World, it's imperialism. Third World America, from Cheney to Cheney. For 20 years, we've turned this place into a fucking hellhole. Fucking obey, consume, die young of fucking cancer. I invented post-ignorance right there. I said if we don't pivot now, it will swallow us whole. We didn't pivot. That was on 10-10-10. Oh, it swallowed us fucking. The Million Mass March, which turned into Black Lives Matter, which was the post-ignorance, the invention of Occupy was all invented right there by Kevin Blanch. But again, state-run media. Ignorance. Thus, I said in there, post-ignorance someday, not today. Stand tuned. It's the ecology, stupid.